Oh, all right. Oh, I got some coffee. I've got some cartoons on for the kid. Let's talk about 2020 Appalachian Trail gear list. So I'm sure you guys have seen a number of different gear videos. This one's probably not going to be much different. But I thought I would go over what I carried on my section hike of the southern part of the Appalachian Trail a few weeks ago, and give me a chance to also show you guys just the gear I carry in general. So we'll get started. I'll probably start out with like my big three. So I know I recently talked about picking up a hammock gear Wonderlust kit, and that is in fact what I took on my section hike, and I was not disappointed in it in the slightest. And it is right here, and I've done a little bit as far as separating things because I put it in different parts of my pack. But I've got my stakes and my tree straps in a separate container I keep on the outside of my pack. And I did in fact make a couple of changes. I'll show you. So I put these carabiners, these small aluminum carabiners, on the end of my tree straps, which just basically makes it a lot faster to put the straps up and get them back down. So that was an addition. I think they're like 0.2 ounces a piece, so not really a huge penalty to have ease of getting them on and off the tree. So that was a big help along the way. I've got my Quest tarp from Hammock Gear that came with the kit, and I really didn't have any problems with that. I did waterproof this before I went. That was the only thing that I did do. It comes with some seam sealer, so you can seam seal it, and then I waterproofed it with some silicone spray. It wasn't too stretchy in the wind, and I did have a few really windy nights so you know, it held up pretty well. We stayed on top of a few summits during that section hike, and had some pretty windy nights, and I did not have really any issues with the tarp. It is stretchy, as you can imagine, because it's sil nylon, so it's not as rigid as a DCF or something like that. And then the body, my Hammock Gear hammock that came with the Wonderlust kit, and I have not modified this at all or done anything to it, and like I said, it was not disappointing at all. The entirety of what I'm carrying in hammock gear is right at about 2.5 pounds, so pretty comparable to an ultralight tent. So no complaints on the weight there. I thought that was pretty fair for everything that I needed to take for the hammock. So that's my sleep system, or my shelter. My sleep system, which I actually received the day I left for the Appalachian Trail, was from a company called Hang Tight Quilts. So I've got basically an underquilt here from Hang Tight, and it is a full length underquilt. I believe it is 72 inches. It might be a little shorter than that, but it is a full length underquilt, and they sent that with this nice shock cord on the ends, which was really easy to use, and then these small, if you can see them here, if the camera will focus, these small lightweight S-clips come on the end of it. I put them on my continuous loops, and that seemed to work out pretty well. They've also got some cinches at both ends, and they're all separate if you want to or need to tighten this up, which I didn't. I didn't really. I had one night it got down to about 37 degrees, but I was positioned most of the times where the wind wasn't getting under my underquilt, so there really wasn't any reason to cinch those down. But that worked out really well. And then I got, with the set that I ordered, I got the top quilt as well. And like I said, it's pretty basic. Just a closed foot box top quilt. And the manufacturer, it's a guy, like I said, in Michigan. He's on Etsy under the name Hang Tight Quilts is the name of the company. He rates these at 40 degrees conservatively, and I slept in them down to I want to say 37 or 36 degrees and was never cold at all. So that's a pretty conservative comfort rating, I would say, on these quilt sets. And I was really impressed with these. And the other benefit to them is that they each weigh about 16 ounces. So that puts me at just 2 pounds for both of those quilts, which I thought was pretty awesome. So that's my sleep system and my shelter. Next we'll go over my pack. I've had this pack for 3 years, and it is the Mountain Smith Scream 55. It's a 55 liter internal frame pack, and it's got like a, I guess the best way to describe it would be like a frame sheet that is a composite material that's in the back of it. It's really not much, but it's enough to give it some rigidity. And I carry about, the most I've ever had in the pack is 30 pounds, and it handled that pretty well, and I was completely comfortable with it. It's really a basic pack. You've got the main compartment here, which is a roll top, and it's got these buckles on both sides to cinch it down if you want to compress it. And it's got 2 large pockets on the outside of the pack, and that's pretty much where I keep anything that I need to get to quickly. I wish it had like a large lycra or like a mesh pocket, which is what most packs have now, on the front, on the back of the pack per se. I would prefer that. These pockets are kind of limiting, and like I said, there's 2 on either side here, and they don't have any airflow. So if anything goes in here that's wet or nasty, it's really not going to dry. What I did on my through hike, especially with my clothes, is I've got this gear loop on the back of the pack here, and that's for an ice axe, trekking pole, whatever. I use this gear loop to hang my clothes when I wanted to dry them, like if I did some trail laundry, wanted to put my shirt back there, or got hot or whatever. That's what I used it for. I think it would be a great improvement if this pack had a large lycra stretch panel, and eventually that is probably what I will be going to. But it does have a nice set of stretch water bottle pockets on both sides that easily accommodate 1 liter water bottles plus whatever else you can stuff into them. But I cannot get to them with the pack on, and that is a huge annoyance, especially on that section hike. It was a huge annoyance that you had to take your pack off every time that you wanted to drink some water. So that's another complaint I have from the pack. And thirdly, you can see this back panel on here is kind of like a mesh, and I'm just knocking everything off my table here. I sweat quite a bit when I hike, and I had quite a bit of problem not only drying this out, but I actually sweat through the pack a few times and got some stuff wet on the inside of the pack. So that was a pretty big annoyance too. And obviously if this was made out of something like DCF, that wouldn't be a concern. But overall, I think I paid $160 for this pack, and it has definitely served its purpose over the past 3 years that I have owned it. And it's really a great pack for somebody who is doing weekend hikes and smaller stuff, just because of some of the annoying features on it. Obviously on the longer trips, it's going to have some downsides to it, but I really can't say that it's a bad piece of equipment because it's 3 years old. It's been on several trips, and it is really held up well. It's made out of Robic nylon, so it's pretty tough. It doesn't have any rips or tears in it or anything like that. I really haven't had any issues with it. But and the pack weighs right at, I think, 2 pounds or maybe a touch over 2 pounds. So it's pretty lightweight, being as simplistic as it is. That's my pack. So next I got my water kit. And I carry, and I'm sure you've seen this 1,000 times too, but I carry the Nocvecto Sawyer combination. I've got my Sawyer squeeze here, the big Sawyer squeeze. I've in the past I've used the Sawyer minis, never used the micro, but I just prefer the full size Sawyer just because of the flow rate, and I feel like it's just a better filter. The mini is not a bad filter, but I've had some issues with getting water to flow through them after a lot of use. So I just stick with the full size one here, and I've got my 2-liter Vecto bag that I keep with me, and it's getting pretty worn out actually. I noticed on this trip it's pretty stained, labels coming off, but it still holds water. Really, I don't have any issues with it. You know, with the big mouth, you can't really go wrong with this setup. It has been tried and true. So, got that, and I keep a few of the end caps in the bag. You know, in the event that I was to lose one, I try to keep some extra caps in there. And that's my water filtration system. I'll set that over here. And then I've got my poop kit. Who doesn't like a good poop kit? Which has got some biodegradable poop tickets in it. And then I also carry a trowel. This trowel I found on Amazon, and it was kind of on accident that I found it, because I was carrying a much heavier metal trowel for quite some time, that it was actually left over from the 90s. That was something my dad had given me. But this trowel, if I can get it to the camera, is actually called a 0-gram trowel. And it is not only small, but it is extremely lightweight. And I like it because it's pretty strong. It doesn't bend even in the harder ground. So there again, that's a 0-gram backpacking trowel, and it fits in my poop kit bag. So that is a huge advantage too. So that's that. And I usually take, along with that kit, I usually take some biodegradable wipes, and I also always carry Sawyer Picardin. So obviously in the fall and the winter time, that's not really a super important thing, but this is my favorite bug protection, bug spray, whatever you want to call it. I prefer it over DEET. It is a lot safer than DEET, and there's really no danger to my equipment using it, and it doesn't stink. So Sawyer products for the win again on that one. Pretty much take that with me irregardless. Then I have my Dolly Bag, which is this little guy, and it's a zipper pouch from a company called Equinox. If you can see that, it's pretty cool because they put it's a zipper pouch, and then it's got a nice little clip on it too. If you wanted to keep it on the outside of your pack, you can clip it on, and it's about all I need for a Dolly bag per se. Empty bag there because I used all my vitamin I, and but that's what I usually keep in there. Some regular Advil. I've got some Band-Aids, and then the Travel Crest toothpaste, and then I've got my cut off toothbrush. You see that? And I also keep you know, for those nights I have trouble sleeping, I have a small bottle of Advil PM in there. And I like to keep a pair of toenail clippers and a pair of tweezers in there for splinters, any kind of thing like that that might come along. And then I also have basically a pin body that I cut off here, and it has my moleskin tape, and I put a couple zip ties through it for repairs if necessary. And that tape is actually, it's Leuco tape. I call it moleskin tape, but it's Leuco tape, and I absolutely love that stuff. It's the best thing for blisters. I use it for bandages. I've repaired things with it. It is a fantastic product. If you've never tried Leuco tape, look it up. You can get it by the roll on Amazon. It's fairly inexpensive. But that's about all I take as far as a ditty bag goes, personal bag. And again, that was from a company, I've got several actually bags from a company called Equinox Ltd. And I've also got the, so I've got this is the Equinox zipper pouch bag. You can see it's a pretty nice sized bag. And I've got two of these. One I actually use for my electronics, but this one is my cook set. So I keep that all in here. And that's a pretty simple setup. Get that out. I have basically a piece of Kevlar that I keep in here. I don't know if you can see that. And that's kind of like my pot holder. I've got a cheap plastic Amazon stabilizer that I use for my fuel can. You just take it out like this, and you can take it and clip it onto your fuel can, so you don't have to worry about your fuel can falling over, because I rarely cook on level ground, so I know most guys wouldn't carry that extra weight, but it weighs virtually nothing. It weighs like less than 0.2 of an ounce. And I've spilled boiling water before, I've spilled coffee before because of tipping my pot over, so I just would rather carry that and not deal with that. My stove, and I've had this for, I think, going on at least 3 years now. My stove is the BRS Titanium Ultralight Stove. 16 bucks on Amazon. You really can't beat that. And I've never really had an issue with it. I don't think it's the most efficient stove that you can buy for backpacking. However, it is the most lightweight and simple stove, and it's really never failed me. I've never had a problem with it. It's older, 3 years old I think, and it doesn't have any signs of wear and tear on it. I've got the traditional Bic mini lighter to take with me. I have got I think it's I have to look at it here, Vault can. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but anyways, it's a long handled spork with a polished bowl, so that way you're not sticking your hand down in those, and it's just reliable. It's just been it's the size that I need, and it's lightweight, and it doesn't seem to bend or tear up very easily, and it's got a nice set of handles on it. It's just a great pot. It is on the pricier side. I think I paid 60 bucks, maybe a little less than 60 bucks for this at an outfitter here in Indiana. So that is my cook system, and I'll show you that pouch here from Equinox as it's empty. Kind of a neat little deal. I really like these because they're the zipper pouches for me. I keep everything easier, and they just make life easier out on the trail when I'm trying to get to something quick. I'm also carrying, let's see here, I've got my Outdoor Research helium raincoat. So that's what I carry for a raincoat. I've got another Equinox zipper pouch, and it's what I put my electronics in. The only thing I got in there right now is I've got the Anchor Power Core 10,000 milliamp battery that I take to keep everything alive on trail, and no complaints about that. It's a really good thing to have on the Appalachian Trail, and did really well. I always take a pair, even though I don't always wear them, I always take a pair of Dirty Girl gaiters. And you can get these on dirtygirl.com. Wait a minute. Don't quote me on that. Don't type that in your browser. That could be something totally different. Yeah, don't do that. Maybe just Google Dirty Girl Gaiters. But these, as long as I have used these, they were recommended to me probably about 2 years ago. They have held up really well too. They don't even have any stains on them or rips, tears, nothing like that. Throw them in the washing machine. They have really been nice to have. I can't recommend these as far as gaiters enough. I've been pretty satisfied with them. Then I actually have an Equinox pack rain cover that is a nice Sil Nylon super light rain cover. I take that with me along with my outdoor research raincoat. I've got a nice big Equinox stuff sack here. This is what I keep basically all my clothes in. And it's a nice cinch top bag. So that's what my clothes go in. And I also carry the Equinox bear bag, and this is pretty nice. It's got these nice big webbing straps on the top to hang the bag, and it also comes with a pouch here on the front. Open that up for you, and that is where you can keep your line and rock bag, which comes with the bag. And I probably got about 4 or 5 days of food in here. Whew, and something is ripe. Yeah, I'm gonna have to clean that. That's terrible. So that is just a run through of basically what I took on the Appalachian Trail. I'm gonna try to sit down and do a full gear review on the Wonderlust Kit from Hammock Gear, and probably get into more of the specs of that and how it worked, and my opinions on that. So I think that's about it overall. If you have any questions, I will try to put all the links for these products in the description section if you're interested in looking at any of them. I know that some of the Equinox products, for whatever reason, the last time I looked, are not available. Some of them are, but I think that they do not make a few of these items anymore. They're a small cottage company, so they from time to time you'll have that happen. But I will still try to find maybe some comparable links to put in there for you guys if you want to go check them out. Until next time, if you like this video, I greatly appreciate you hitting that like button. If you want to see more, I'm going to try to keep more coming. Hit that subscribe and the bell notification so you know every time I post. And until next time, guys, remember to hike your own hike.